We need peace, we choose freedom. We need peace, we choose freedom. There was a nation living in peace and unity. Yeah. They are people with love and harmony. Oh, yeah. They saw greatness rise up to its purity. With another people of different culture, a different heritage, bias and oppressive. Oh, I see. A nation from trigger of Africa, rising with strength and might and power. In due time, nobody gonna oppress us. Rather, you all gonna embrace her. Wave your flag, wave your flag, wave your flag, wave your flag. Oh, yeah. Let the tears of our mothers who lost their children be heard. Let the blood of our heroes speak from now till forever. Let the whole wide world know Biafra is our home. Oh yeah, Biafra is our home. Oh, it's my home. Yeah, Biafra is our home.
I reminisce way back 1967. Death toll on the blood couldn't count them even. Mama screaming, child squealing, pops on the ground. 2.5 years, over 3 million's gone. Why? Cause we asked for our freedom, and we're going back to our sovereign kingdom. They shut us down when we cried, the world said nothing. Sitting back in the crib, watching our suffering. Should I talk about the planes dropping shells like rain? Suka had the first taste of a hero's blood. Abagana Zobuni wave was stronger than flood, but the juke is too strong and fought them off on the chart. Thought the bloodshed's gone, then it came again. 216 and the massacre, it started again. So bloody name, I couldn't cry tears. Blood dripping down my eyes, water in my veins. We died trying to fight the cause and we're trying to break him. It's our freedom, but the world was against us.
Wave your flag over Africa. Welcome people of Biafra. Wave your flag over all the world. See those people of Zion is here.
It is the nation that the Lord has chosen for the people of Zion. It is the nation that the Lord has chosen for the people of Zion.
We need peace, we choose freedom. We need peace, we choose freedom. Yeah. Let the tears of our mothers who lost their children be heard. Let the blood of our heroes speak from now till forever. Let the whole wide world know Biafra is our home. I see a rising sun from Africa. Oh, this is time of victory. Oh, yeah. I see future in Africa. Oh, yeah. People of Biafra. See light shining on the world. Oh, yeah.
But again, every time Nigeria is a rebel, I look for news.
We know what we're doing. There is nothing anybody can do about it. Absolutely nothing. Nothing. I need them to understand this. We've crossed the Rubicon, the point of no return. There is nothing anybody can do. If I'm alive, if I'm dead, if I'm wherever I may be, Biafra will come. If I'm dead, it's even better because it will come far more quicker. I can assure you. If Biafra is fighting for you, no one will touch your property. If you're fighting alone, you're bound to lose it. So Biafra is the best. We will become the 16th member country of ECOWAS. If Nigeria doesn't release those properties, then we'll take them to court and we'll get them back. Even twice the value. The Jews had investments all over the world. Most of the priceless artifacts and paintings belonged to many families in Germany. It was stolen by the Nazi Party. Do you know that? Eventually they got everything back with compensation on top of it. That's what we're going to do. If you touch our investments, we'll come back for you. And we'll know where we can get it from. So there is nothing for anyone to worry about. It's only if I'm not stopping you from being a Nigerian, if you are born on the streets of Lagos and you want to be a Lagosian and your name is Adama, oh, well and good. There's no problem.
Every time Nigeria is rebel, if I look on news, it is rebel. If I look at social media, it is problem. Yeah? When I should be drinking coffee, that will make me to come alive. Then I want to have the rest. But you know what? You know what? The spirit in me, the Biafra spirit in me, I said, when I told you, if Nnamdi Kanu is looking for 100 people, I promise that I have 50 in me. You have not seen anything. It is not by my power. It is not by my power. It's not by my power. But, as they get all right. My own oru, I am a royal child, you understand? Till Biafra come. But today you are going to receive sense. The crypto, Nigeria crypto. As they are crippling your economy, they close border. They close the border. ESN came out automatically, weaponized. It shocked them. They said, this border no work. This close of border no work. Now, how do we stop the funding now of this Sunday or Igbo? How do we stop the contribution? Let us stop the crypto. Because they were following Nigerians, southern Nigerians. Use crypto. We should open crypto. Use crypto. Don't use the Western Union. Don't use this way. They say, so these people are doing crypto. Okay. Let us slash them. Bam! They are not considering the economic impact of crypto. No. They are not considering how much the crypto is bringing to Nigerian economy. Their agenda is not to make Nigeria progress. No. They have a better agenda. Now you get the point. Now you get the point. My only problem is that why is it that you must wait? Was Thomas born in Nigeria? Is Thomas a Nigerian? Is Thomas in the Bible in Nigeria? Are you a lineage of Thomas? Are you a lineage of Thomas? All of you have Thomas blood in your vein. How did you get Thomas blood in your vein? That it must happen to you first before you understand. Here we have more in Anukia. You have more kind of men. Woo! You have more kind of men. When we are telling you, you don't know, no, you have more kind of men. We are telling you, even we are not prophets, but everything we have said, everything we open this mouth to say, if it don't happen today, it will happen tomorrow. I want you to go from the beginning of this struggle. From the beginning. In fact, even the one that we are not sure of, once God asks us to say it, we will say it and God will do it. Hey! He I said, did you see the prayer? May God harden the heart of the leaders in Nigeria so that we will tell them, the world may know that Obi is no longer a boy. I remember when we used to read the history of the Greeks, the Greek gods. I don't know, of course, we don't read all those things in Africa. The history of the Greek gods, Medusas, Medusa, they say Medusa.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining us on this very amazing program. I appreciate every one of you that has connected wherever you are connecting from. Like and share the program on your platform. Like and share to family and friends. Share to everyone that is close to you. Do not watch alone. Make sure you invite somebody. You are welcome, my beloved sister, Macy Akere. Thank you for being there, my sister Macy. You're welcome. And I welcome everyone that is watching out there, wherever you are watching from, any platform where you are joining us from. I welcome you. I appreciate you for being part of this program. Today, we are discussing on the Biafra self-determination. That is the topic we have heard from morning up until this evening. In the evening, we recap what we did in the morning. So, but this evening, you choose to go to another direction. I will use a title which says The Hidden War Against Biafra, How Britain and Nigeria Fear Igbo Self-Determination. How the British and Nigeria fear the Biafra self-determination. It is something that is no longer hidden. The government of Nigeria is afraid, and they are fighting a serious war against us. Not because we committed any crime, not because we did anything wrong. They are scared of our freedom. They don't want us to be free. And how can they hold us down forever? It is impossible. You can't hold us down forever. Wherever you are watching this program from, I want you to tighten up your belt. We are in a very critical time. Don't say you are not warned. Don't say you didn't know. More especially this moment. Today is 27th. We have some few days to get into the 30th, which is a very critical day. Remembrance of our heroes. I want you to understand that the Nigerian government will do everything humanly possible to see that Biafra is not restored. The British is doing everything humanly possible to see that Biafra is not restored. And they try everything they can to wipe away our memory. They are trying their best to remove our memory. They want to take us away from the picture. That is why they refuse to acknowledge the genocide of Biafra, and they have refused to allow us to remember our heroes. Every one of you know how we started this Heroes Day remembrance. It was the initiation that came from Nnamdi Kanu. Nnamdi Kanu, the supreme leader of IPOB, initiated it. And when he started it, it was a tug of war. They say the kingdom of God suffered violence, and only the violent take it by force. It got to a stage where we need to take it by force, and that is where we are today. Nnamdi Kanu took this remembrance out by force. And the entire Biafra land was forced to obey and remember their heroes. Can you imagine? Where on earth do you force people to remember their hero? Where on earth? But because of where we have found ourselves, It has become necessary that everything you want to implement, you need to sound a note of warning. You need to sing it, blow it like with a trumpet before people will hear. Nigeria has made people very unserious that when you are speaking about something that concerns people, including something that's going to save their life, they don't pay attention. People never pay attention. These are issues that concern them, not just us. Something that has to do with our people, but yet they expect you to cry and shout before they will listen. They expect you to force before they will listen. It is so sad, but that is what we have become because of our long stay in the zoological republic. I thank Chukwu Okike that finally the Heroes Remembrance Day has continued since Mazen Nani cannot put it in place till date. And this year is not going to be exceptional. This year should be extraordinary. Even in the absence of Mazen Nani Kanu, he has already issued a statement. And on that yet, we are expecting to hear the Sokoto declaration from Mazen Nani Kanu. Remember, it is a lockdown. It is going to be a total shutdown of the entire Biafra land, the whole old Southeastern region. Nobody is coming out to enforce anything. If you know you are human and you have human feeling, except you're not human, you can do what you like. And of course, we know there are people who are not human. Their humanity have died a natural death. There are some people, even in Biafra, that their humanity have died. These are the people you will stay that will come out on the 30th. And we know that 30th is a day that we will never forget. A day we remember our heroes. If there is nobody to remember on that day, come out, stay in your room and pray for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Pray for Mazi Simon Ekpa Njoko. Pray for the soul of the parents of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Pray for Ikon Sos. Pray for our eternal leader, Dim Odebego Juku, wherever he is. I know wherever he is, he'll be sharing tears what his acclaimed wife is doing today. Wherever our eternal leader, he will be ashamed of Bianca Ono, who claimed to be his wife. We need to pray for them. Pray for millions of children who were starved to death. Pray for General Effion. Pray for so many of them who fought in the front line for the Biafran struggle. Do not forget. We will never forget. Their soul is still wandering. Their soul is wandering about, and they will not have rest until Biafra is restored. We need to build a monument for them and properly recognize them and lay them to rest. There are a lot of spirits walking around the Biafra land that have not rested. A lot of spirits are walking around, and more people are joining them walking around. Nigeria has committed a lot of crime against humanity in Biafra land. Many innocent blood are crying day in, day out in that contraption called Nigeria. The nation is so hot, that if you have a spiritual eye, you will never wish to be in Nigeria. So many innocent souls wasted. So many innocent souls who were not given a befitting burial, and their spirit is wandering about. They will never have peace or rest until Biafra is fully restored. But for the meantime, we can appease their soul. How do we appease their soul? By remembering them on the 30th. That remembrance will go a long way to appease their soul, and they will join us and fight in the spiritual world to restore Biafra. The battle for Biafra is not just a physical fight. It is also a spiritual warfare. While we are fighting in the physical, they are fighting spiritual. The fight is so intense that we are not only engaging the terrorists from the north, we are not engaging the Fulanis alone, we are engaging the entire world, the Western world, more especially the British. As you know, the British have a very manipulative strength. They have a say to an extent in what happens in the world. And Nigeria is their source of life. The resources in Nigeria is the source of life of the British, and they will do everything humanly possible to see that we do not get our freedom. But are we going to back down? Never, ever. We will never back down. No matter how difficult it is, no matter their strategy. And the promise we made to them is that if they do not allow Biafrans to go, Nigeria will be worse than Somalia. That is the prayer that Mazen Nnamdi made. And today it is happening. Mazen Nnamdi told British, if the British do not stop meddling in the case of Biafra, if they do not stop meddling in the issue of Biafra, their own country will be taken over. And as we speak, their country is taken over by strangers. Every one of us in the media that is paying attention to what is happening in Britain, you can agree with me that their citizens have lost hope on their government and foreigners are taking over British today. As we can see, Britain is turning to an Islamic state. And not just the only one saying it. Many commentators are saying it. The same British that came and brought Christianity, the same British that was supposed to be a Christian nation today is taking over by the Muslims. And they are going to take it completely, except they stop meddling in the case of Biafra. Their pride will not allow them to know what is happening to them. Their ego will not allow them to admit, but it is going to happen. The same way the God wants to destroy a man, he will make him deaf and dumb. If you do not stop meddling in the issue of Biafra, you will definitely be run over by strangers. You will lose your land. The same way you took our land and resources and gave to strangers, the same way strangers will take over your own land. It is not a curse, it is a prayer that you made, and we say amen to that. And as we speak, it is happening. It is already happening. They can continue to deny it and pretend all is well. But we know what is going on. We have eyes to see, we have ears to hear. We are not that daft as they think. And they know how intelligent we are. That is one of the things that scares them. As for the zoo, instead of Biafra not to go, the zoo will be leveled by Chukwu. It must only happen. While they are pushing forward to Biafra land, their own land is taken over by the same evil they want to employ to Biafra land. They will take them over. Today, the northern part of Nigeria have been overrun. Mazen Nnamdi cannot say it, but they didn't believe him. That while you come down to southeast to fight them, your own land will be taken over. And when you go back, you will not find a home. Today, in the northern part of Nigeria, many of the politicians cannot go home, including the military. They cannot go back to their homes. They have been taken over by the terrorists. Anyone that supports the contraction called Nigeria will definitely pay with his life. This is not a cause. It is not a cause. That is how it is. The energy you give out is the energy you are going to get. If you want peace, you should speak peace and give peace. And if you want trouble, keep on pushing trouble and speaking trouble. Trouble will befall you. As for we, the Biafrans, we will never back down. We will never stop asking for that which is ours. We will never stop asking for our rights. No matter what the enemies do, freedom will definitely come. Wherever you are watching this program from, I want you to understand that the enemies we are fighting are not backing down. And the enemies we are up against are powerful. They have all the money, they have all the connection. But we have something that they will never, ever have. We have Chukwu Kabiam. And we are moving on the mandate of Chukwu Kabiam. And remember, one with God is majority. We are not boasting on our horses and chariots. We are not boasting on our munitions and money or wealth. We are boasting on the name of Chukwu Kabiam. And as long as we continue to stand on that, we will definitely defeat this evil that is befalling us. So, my fellow Biafrans, don't give up. No matter what you hear, no matter what you see. Those that say we will not survive will never survive. We have given Nigeria everything they require. At every given point in time, Biafrans have given everything in them to make sure that Nigeria works. But eventually, Nigeria is not going to work. It's not meant to work. And the more we continue to delay and put ourselves in the making up of Nigeria, the more we endanger our life. That is why we say enough is enough. We have done more than enough, and we cannot continue. I want to play certain videos. I'm going to play the interview that was granted to Emeka Anyoko. On his own part, he did what he has to do on his own part. You know, all of us cannot be in agitation. There are people that are operating on different levels. But I want to show you the effect that Biafrans are making. People from Biafra, more especially of Igbo origin, are making in Nigeria to see that things work. But yet, it is almost impossible to make Nigeria work. That is why in our generation, we have come to a conclusion that the only solution today is to end it once and for all. That is the only solution. To end the zoological republic. Nothing shorter than that. The only solution today is to end the zoological republic. End it once and for all. To attend to Israel and let every region go back home and create a nation that will be suitable for them. I want you to listen to this very interview that was granted to Emeka Anyoko. Listen to it with your brain. Keep your sentiment aside. Let's listen and hear what he had to say at the interview.
The federal government, headed by General Gowan, required all foreign service officers of Igbo extraction to take oath of allegiance to the federal government. And I refused to take the oath of allegiance to the federal government. You refused? I refused because I said that at that time, the pogrom in northern Nigeria, the killing of Igbo people in northern Nigeria, and the exodus of Igbo people from Lagos and other parts of Nigeria back to the east, I expected the federal government to condemn those killings, and not only to condemn them, but to take action to stop the killings. It didn't do that. And I said to myself, there was no reason why, in good conscience, I could swear an oath of allegiance to the federal government.
Did you hear that? This is something that Gowon is lying about today. Gowon refused to protect the Igbos when the pogrom was going on, the Biafras, when they were being massacred in the entire north and the southwest. Instead of protecting them, he was telling the Biafran elites to take an oath of allegiance to Nigeria. This is Emeka Anyoko. And Emeka Anyoko said that he refused to take the oath of allegiance to Nigeria. There is no way he would take an oath of allegiance to Nigeria while his people are being destroyed, killed. Just like today, politicians are taking oath of allegiance, even when they see that their land is being destroyed. But in those days, it doesn't happen. Look at Emeka Anyoko. He refused to take the oath of allegiance to Nigeria because his people are being decimated. Pogrom is going on, and the federal government refused to protect them. But today, look at people, somebody like Omahi. Omahi is taking oath of allegiance on the blood of the innocent Biafrans, on the blood of his own brothers and sisters. Peter Mba is taking oath of allegiance on the blood of the Biafrans. Sonu Igbo is taking oath of allegiance on the blood of the Biafrans. Hope Osaduma is taking the oath of allegiance on the blood of the Biafrans. What a shame. But this was the action that the people took during their own time. Emeka Anyoko said it in black and white. He refused to take oath of allegiance because of the pogrom and the evil that was going on, conducted by Gowon, and Gowon refused to protect us. Then Gowon that is coming to write a book. And people like Emeka Anyoko is there. Why he continues to tell his lies, right, left, and center? It is shameful.
The federal government, headed by General Gowon, required all foreign service officers of Igbo extraction to take oath of allegiance to the federal government. And I refused to take the oath of allegiance to the federal government. I refused because I said that at that time, the program in northern Nigeria, the killing of Igbo people in northern Nigeria, and the exodus of Igbo people from Lagos and other parts of Nigeria back to the east, I expected the federal government to condemn those killings, and not only to condemn them, but to take action to stop the killings. It didn't do that. And I said to myself, there was no reason why, in good conscience, I could swear an oath of allegiance to the federal government. Back home here in Nigeria, I had discussions with General Abacha, and in all my discussions, I sought to persuade him to acknowledge and respect the verdict of the Nigerian electorate. In July 1995, when I met with him, I asked him to let me see Abiola. Abiola was in detention, and his first reaction was no. Excellency, can let you see somebody who's been accused of treason and so on. And I said to him, well, Excellency, I must make the point. You must be aware that the Nigerian and international media have been reporting that Abiola is being tortured in prison, and he's not well in prison because of the torturing. When I leave you, the press are bound to ask me about Abiola, and I will feel obliged to tell them that I asked you to let me see Abiola and you refused. And of course, you know that will confirm all the reports and so on that they have with Abiola. And Abacha kept quiet for a few seconds and said, well, Excellency, you will see him. So I ended up seeing Abiola. I was the first person to see Abiola in detention. And when I saw him, in 1965, November, the first Commonwealth Secretary General, Arnold Smith of Canada, was an official visit to Nigeria and met with the Prime Minister. And Arnold Smith said that he wanted a middle-ranking Nigerian diplomatic officer who would help him make nonsense of the myth of racial superiority.
Welcome to today's episode of the Legacy Series. I am your host, Saulishan Alibo. Today, I'm so honored.
It's important that we take that very first part that was the main thing I want to take. We are going to go back to this program maybe some other time and not today. But I wanted to show you what the elderly people were doing in those days. In those days, when they were still saying that Emeka Anyoku refused to swear an oath of allegiance to Nigeria because of what was happening to the Igbos before the Civil War. He refused. But today, in the midst of death, destruction, the elites are taking oath of allegiance every day. In fact, they are the ones that are on the front line carrying out operation against their own people. What went wrong? You ask yourself, what went wrong? The set of elite we have today are really livered. And it is because that the people did not choose them or vote them in. These are people that forced themselves into, but the people that the caliphate imposed on us. And because they were imposed on us, they do anything they like. All they do is to push propaganda, push blackmail, demonize us, call us different kinds of names, stay in the forefront of accusation. They are the one that accuse us first. They push narrative against their own people. It is sad. Very, very sad. But we must not give up. And we will never forget. For every crime they are committing today, we will never, ever forget. I want us to hear this report also from Harrison before we go into their media fully. I want you to pay attention to the revelation that Harrison made on the accusation, false accusation against the Biafran people.
Harrison Gwamishu. So this video is going to be with Igbo language, all right? So if you don't understand it, please don't feel offended. Just find somebody that can interpret it to you.
I want you to pay attention. Hold on. Let me bring up the video because it is necessary. Listen to it. There have been a lot of blackmail, a whole lot of blackmail against us. There have been so much blackmail led by the politicians of Igbo extraction and some other disgruntled people. Every time they accuse the IPOB of wanting, that was how they accused Mazi Simon Ekpa. Every single day we were accusing, and Nigeria took those false accusations and the false flag presented to Finland, and Finland are acting on false information that made it to detain Mazi Simon Ekpa today. Look at Harrison. He's in the forefront and the feed. I want you to listen to what Harrison has to say. These reports that he brought. Let us pay attention.
Harrison Gwamishu. So this video is going to be with Igbo language, all right? So if you don't understand it, please don't feel offended. Just find something that can interpret it to you. And I'm not good in speaking language like very, very well. So those people who I'm talking to will understand me better, all right? Especially people from the southeast region, Imo State in particular, Imo State. One of my last week, I'm in Imo State, and that process, support for military, local vigilante, homeland security, I rescue 3 kidnapped people, their victims, who are here. So, India, Abolofa from their community. This man got for like almost 1 weekend on with them. Then, this other man now, from video yesterday online, this other man, Mr. Gunyema, is lecturer at the Imo State University. So I want to get Atomka water something. Now, this kidnapping and the make I pull on the buying in me. I can start anywhere and say it. All in this strangers here, you don't know fear, you know, but they made this thing. All you buying in me. They have evidence that people buy in there. Now this lecturer now he kidnapped this man. They kidnapped yeah. All of with these 3 people, these 3 other people they kidnapped. They were together. When I on your abuse away because now somehow in the Biafra we for ransom they go in there they would pay. Water. So all Mr. Nyema, I have Nyema, popular donors, Ganja, all physics lecturer. On a physics practical now Imo State University. So if you want to verify, guys, why see the apology na about to be on the bay. So this is evidence that Nnamdi no go Kudunu and open at these communities now. They terrorize. They have been terrorizing since last year. Later, I listened them from Amako UP. Last year, November, they invited me to assist them, place with a little bit of support and the rest of them. Well, I got on because of Nsogumwe last year, November to December. I got on. Do you understand? So, ndị a ọbụla ndị be anyị na-eme nke a kịta agaghị m asị na ndị be ha anaghị eme ihe ọjọọ, mana ndị a na-eme nke a kịta bụkwa strangers that we need to flush out immediately before they multiply and spread to other communities. Ị gaa na Amaka UP jụọ ha ndị na-eme ha ndị ebe. Ị gaa na map the same thing. Our community is the same thing. Or Ejimekuru, the same thing. So onye gasị na cow one day buying a million on our tuasi. They are sponsored to continue on a trend, on a narrative.
Exactly.
That money buying when they make all these things.
Absolutely. I agree with you 100%. We know that.
In some cases. Akafada man, when I can't make that, both na naked you. I'm Jimekuru, our Amako UP, Irate, didn't make her Amako, didn't make her blow upon the by security. The forest are surrounded. Blow by Hana Aquaco. This is something that is real, is happening.
I hope you heard it. That's the report from Harrison. Every one of you know Harrison. He's always in the front line. He has rescued so many people, even when they try to blackmail him. And he's saying it the way it is. They just want to maintain the narrative that our people are troublemakers. They want to maintain the narrative that we are the ones causing problems. They just want to maintain the narrative that we are troublemakers. That's all it's all about. But in the actual sense, everybody knows that we are innocent. They know we're innocent. But for one reason or the other, they continue to maintain that lie. They just want to keep that lie going. They want to keep that misinformation going. But by the special grace of Chukwuka, we shall overcome all their evil plan. We will never back down. We will never, ever back down. Not today, not tomorrow, not ever. But we continue to say it the way it is. So, my fellow Biafrans, the war we are fighting is not an easy war. We have a very difficult task ahead of us. And all hands must be on deck. All hands must be on deck. Don't sleep. Onye lara ụla eburu egbe ya. Onye nwa anwa lara ụla eburu egbe ya. That is just it. So you must be awake at all times. You must continue to pay attention and be smart. Don't say you are not warned. Don't say you are not told. They are not going to stop. If you are dreaming that one day they will stop and all things will become well, they will never stop. These people will not stop. They will not stop. The earlier you stand up, sit up, and do what you have to do, the better for all of us. You think they will stop? They will never, ever stop. So wherever you are, you must continue to do your little best. Be very, very careful. Be security conscious at all times if you are in Biafra land. More especially for our young youths. You must be security conscious at all times. Very, very. You must be security conscious. If you are not, I don't know what is going to happen. As we are approaching the 30th May, they are going to try to unleash their mayhem. As we are going to 30th May, they will upgrade in this their attack. They will upgrade in their strategy. They will upgrade in their blackmail against us. Don't think they are going to stop. They will not stop. They will not stop. As we are going forward, they will be upgraded. That is why we must have to be very careful. We must be very careful at all times. We must be very careful because they will not stop. If you think they will stop, they will not stop. The only thing we have to do is to be very careful and mindful at all times. No matter their strategy, no matter their level, no matter where they come from, you must be very careful where you go, what you do at every given point in time. My fellow Biafrans, now let us go to their media. Let us go to Nigerian media and see what is happening. That is what we do every evening. We bring you update from their own media for you to see the evil that is happening. So it wouldn't be that we are just making up issues. It will not be like we just come and we are putting information that are not obtainable. So let's pay attention and listen to what they have in their media for you to understand the level of insecurity you have in the Zoological Republic. Let's go.
Kebbi midnight attack, where 13 people were snatched from their homes at 1 a.m. by terrorists. And then at number 2, we have President Bola Ahmed Tinubu saying he's lost sleep and weight over economic reforms. And at number 3, we have Vice President Kashim Shettima's old 2012 video resurfacing where he's seen weeping over insecurity under Jonathan. Now, here is where you come in. Join the conversation. Use the hashtag What's Trending with Ojiokwe. Comment on our live feed. And of course, Leke. Tell me, which of these stories matter to you most? And what should Nigeria be paying attention to? Because for the next hour, we're going into everything that has Nigeria and the rest of the world buzzing. But first, let's take you around the world. From Trump honoring fallen heroes to the Pope's apology for slavery. Here's a recap of some of the stories that are trending across the globe. The Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria is sounding the alarm, staging a 3-day national fasting and prayer program against the country's spiraling insecurity. Speaking in Ibadan, PFN National President Bishop Francis Wale Oke declared the nation's security situation has reached intolerable levels. The fellowship lamented.
This is the madness that we are talking about. This is one of those madness we talk about. Prayer and fasting cannot solve the problem you have in Nigeria. The problem is clear. Chukwu Okike Abiyama have already given us the solution. God has given you the brain, the knowledge, the wisdom, the equipment to secure yourself and stop the insecurity. And instead of doing it, you are leaving the responsibility to God. Something you need to do, you're leaving to God. This is what I don't understand. That the Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria think that they can solve the problem. You have seen people being kidnapped inside the church. Do you think that God didn't see them? Or you think that God didn't hear their prayers? You think that those ones who were kidnapped in their church, that they are so sinful that God cannot answer them? It is a shame. And it is people like Adeboye that is pushing this nonsense. Meanwhile, they can speak to the president to do the right thing, but they will not do that. Instead, they opt for prayer and fasting to deceive people. It's a shame. Very big shame. Very, very big shame. They should be ashamed of themselves.
That communities in Oyo, Kwara, Taraba, Plateau, Benue, and Borno have become killing fields and is now demanding urgent international intervention. The race to 2027 is hitting off as Atiku Abubakar and Rotimi Amechi participated in the ABC presidential primaries on Monday. Voting was held across over 8,000 wards using the option A method. Atiku cast his vote in Yola, Adamawa State, while Amechi voted in Ubima, River State. The ABC is positioning itself to challenge the ruling APC's dominance in 2027. A major drug bust at Lagos Airport has landed a 63-year-old Chinese national in custody. NDLEA NDA operatives intercepted Ding Kyung upon her arrival from Thailand with 31 kilograms of Canadian loud, a high-grade strain of cannabis, stashed in her luggage. The agency also recently seized over 2 million tablets of high-grade opioids worth over 2 billion naira nationwide. In a historic shift, Pope Leo XIV has issued the clearest papal apology yet from the Catholic Church's role in slavery. In his debut encyclical Magnificat Humanitas, the Pope acknowledged the Vatican's shameful history and officially asked for pardon, marking a massive departure from past statements that shift blame away from the papacy itself. In the United States, President Donald Trump marked Memorial Day with a solemn tribute at Arlington National Cemetery, honoring the generations of Americans who made the ultimate sacrifice for liberty. Standing before Gold Star families and military leadership, the president hailed fallen soldiers as the guardian angels of the Republic. As taps echoed across the grounds, Trump pledged that the torch of American liberty will never be allowed to fall. From honoring fallen heroes to defending American interests, the U.S. military on Monday announced that it conducted new self-defense strikes in southern Iran, targeting missile sites and boats attempting to place mines. The announcement came in a statement from Captain Tim Hawkins, spokesman for Central Command. Iran has yet to respond to this latest attack, and it comes as the Iranian Foreign Ministry had earlier on Monday said progress was being made in talks to end the war, but that deal was not yet imminent, correct? I mean, good morning, Dr. Abati. Good morning, Vimba, our favorite Nigerian. Good morning, Rufy on fire. Yes, that was the Trump dance we had yesterday. It was the YMCA. But you know, the US has launched this strike now and, you know, shaking the world at this point. Well, all right. We have taken you around the world. Now let's bring it home with politics. APC National Chairman, Professor Nnamdi Yilwata, is making a bold claim, speaking during an interview right here on Arise News. Yilwata declared that the ruling APC currently has 12.9 million registered members submitted to INEC, a figure he says surpasses the combined membership of every other registered political party in Nigeria. Let's take a look.
We have about 12.9 million registered voters, right, that will submit to INEC. Let me give you data. Let me bring the data for you. AP submitted 12.9 million registered voters. PDP submitted 2.4 million registered voters. The ADC submitted 1.6 million registered voters. Labour Party submitted 1.3 million registered voters. And it submitted 700,000 registered voter members and members. So these are data. If you put all the political parties together, they don't add up to APC's registered members. All the political parties that this number have counted, they're not up to the number that APC registered.
Rufai, bold words from the chairman's claims. And, you know, they're drawing scrutiny, given the irregular vote counting videos that have surfaced during the party's primaries. Now, his critics also point to his background as former INEC resident electoral commissioner, raising questions about the independence of Nigeria's electoral process ahead of 2027. Rufai, your take on the story.
And we should ask, when did he join the APC and when was he working in INEC? That's another question we should also ask. See, like I said before, all these numbers, or yes, some people can come and debunk and say, oh, it was just mischievous video that we're sharing and all of that. See, those numbers are not forensically evaluated. It's not by submitting 12 or something billion. If I run it through a forensic evaluation test, will you be able to pass scrutiny of correct name and all the identification thresholds? If you want, INEC should try it. INEC should try it. That's what we are saying. So plus even the NDC saying they got over 10 million plus this and everything. And what do you expect, for an APT chairman to say? He will say that everything was good. He will say everything was right. he will say that over close to 90% of people came out to vote in a party primaries. Did all of them present their party cards for the voting? Did we see most of them on the voting? Did they present their party cards for the voting? Maybe except one or two cases, like you said, that they presented their party card. Can they show us, anyway, they just counted. Can they show us a system that verifies the counting? Who was the peer review to verify? It's not here we're saying 1, 2, 50, 100. The same APC that said he has a lot of scrutiny. Is it not the same system that we saw that a 15-year-old boy almost, he was endorsed, we saw picture with him, the Senate president, we saw picture with all
almost everyone,
almost gave the system. And I'd like to apologize this morning to Senator Ekpa that led the, what is it called, something that was asking him that, how many siblings do you have? And then I was being harsh on that woman, not knowing that woman was correct. Oji, if not for People's Gazette that saved us, that did investigative journalism job, that actually brought out that the guy is 15, he fooled all of us, including me. I was like, where is their scrutiny level as regards that? And see, for those that are pushing the narrative, Oji, that because President Tinubu got 11 million in this party, he already has everything. They should stop that narrative because the pretext original. Now they will now say, hey, he already has 11 million votes in this shambolic process that is not peer reviewed and peer verified. With all this irregular, they will say he already has 11 million votes. They should not try to. We are warning them now because we've started seeing them pushing the narrative. Not try and move. Well,
speaking about irregular vote count, there's been a response to the irregular vote counting video we saw during the APC House of Representatives primary for Bende Federal Constituency in Abia State, where Deputy Speaker Benjamin Kalu emerged unopposed in a now trending video. John Okezie, who was the returning officer for Bende Ward during the primary, described the irregular vote counting footage as adulterated and deliberately spread by enemies of the APC to discredit the process. Let's take a look.
I have seen several versions of adulterated videos spread by enemies of APC, the Deputy Speaker, and my humble self. The question I ask is, to what benefit is it to edit video and make it look like numbers we are joined, when the other candidate against the president had no single person behind him? The public should disregard such manipulated videos circulating around, as it is not a true reflection of my country. Those publishing it should stop to avoid legal action, because I have briefed my lawyers over this presentation. Abia is APC. Bende is APC. We don't need to jump counting to make that point. The picture of those behind the picture of the president says that clearly, and the agent of the opponent to Mr. President, who was in attendance, never complained. The public should regard this usual campaign against APC and the leadership of APC.
All right, look at that. The opposition never complained. Now, this officer is saying the primary was conducted transparently, but we saw the viral video. It is now left to the court of public opinion to decide whether this verbal denial alone is sufficient. Dr. Bati, Benjamin Kalu emerged unopposed across all 13 wards, with delegates unanimously endorsing his candidacy. Now, only time will tell whether this process was transparent. Your thoughts?
Okay, my main argument, articulated elsewhere, is that when we were told, oh, this is the Electoral Act 2026, and that, the objective is to address some omissions, some observations from previous elections. The whole idea was that, we'll have a better process in the next elections, 2027 by-elections before 2027. But what we have seen is that even the Electoral Act 2026 itself is problematic. And that immediately after that 2027 election, even now, people are already saying there is need for more reform, because whatever electoral reform we have done has not yielded any result. And we've seen the proof, more or less, in the primaries processes. What is it that was done before that we have not seen? Vote counting, disagreement over mode of election, verification of candidacy and membership problematic. So a whole new set of problems. So perhaps the problem is not even the law. A good law, any kind of law, does not guarantee that an election will be transparent or it will be there will be accountability or that it will be credible. So vote count. I think what we should be asking for is that when it gets to the level of INEC, you can put whatever number you like within your party. At the end of the day, so it's the internal affairs of the party. After all, one party said it would rather announce final results in Abuja and not at the polling booth. But what we expect from INEC is to make sure to draw lessons from what the parties themselves are doing. The same parties that say they have internal democracy. We have not seen the evidence of that internal democracy. We have not seen clear evidence of accountability. And it's not just one party, even if we say it is APC. Even in the ADC process that is going on, they do not seem to know how to count 1, 2, 3.
Yes.
Which is also a comment on the quality of education or the character. Let's stay with character because arithmetic is easy. 1, 2, 3. If you are not blind, you should be able to count 1 to 50 or to whatever. But they can't even do that. Yes. So it's also about the character of a Nigerian politician. But INEC cannot afford to make that kind of mistake during the election. INEC must farm up its processes, it must strengthen its institutions, it must make sure that its numerous ad hoc staff are properly trained so as to ensure the integrity of the electoral process.
All right. Now, Vimbai, we are also seeing more irregular vote counting videos like we saw with the APC, but this time it's the ADC. The African Democratic Congress presidential primary is in full swing, with a new video sparking controversy on social media, showing the same practice of irregular vote counting previously observed during the APC primary. Now, in a video from Kara Primary School in Yobe State on Monday, an official is seen counting voters as they line up at polling unit. He counts 3, 4, 5 before suddenly jumping to 20 by. Can you imagine? Let's take a look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, He's even skipping. I mean, this video has generated reactions online, with some Nigerians stating that the precedent set by APC is gradually becoming a norm in other parties. But here's what's also worth noting. Not one person standing in line called out the official, not one, which raises questions. Are voters intimidated? Are they complicit? Or have Nigerians just accepted that this is how elections work? Meanwhile, actor Yul Odoche has called into question Nigeria Democratic Congress candidate Peter Obi's chances of winning in 2027, instead stating that his chances of being president are in 2031 after President Tinubu. Odoche made these comments while speaking on a new episode of Honest Bunch podcast released on Monday. Let's take a look.
Okay, very good question. So we can president. Peter's mantle is in anger. It's not in ADC. It's not in ADC. It's in anger. He also swore before Ojumo, great Ojumo, that held his hand and told the Anambra people that this is his candidate. Everybody swore before him that he will never leave. That's why since he left, he hasn't achieved anything politically.
All right, this is the voice of some people. I mean, everyone has their opinion whether or not who will become president or not. But at the end of the day, it's the Nigerian people that will decide. And then, like I asked the question, Are these voters complicit? What is going on? Why are we not seeing people screaming? Oga, you did not count well. Count me, your thoughts, or you have skipped me.
I want to quote Mr. Adebayo Adewale, who was here earlier, who said it seems that option A4 has been turned into option A fraud. Because option A4 was one of those landmark sort of, should I say, reforms when it came to the June 12th election that many lauded and said gave credibility and credence to that election. It was something that was celebrated because it allowed people to come out and express themselves, and it was a departure from ballot stuffing and all the other antics we used to see happening in elections. But we're now seeing how this open ballot system can also be weaponized. There's some analysts who said that this election will be the most monetized election in the history of Nigerian elections. And, without sort of supporting evidence, it seems that drawing from inference, you can see that there is a degree of transaction happening here. You can see that given the nature of the politics and also given the nature of our economy at the moment, that if there's a transaction available for me to stand in a line with the membership card and be counted so that I can go home with whatever the going rate is, then it's highly possible. Because why else would you not want the process to be credible? Why else would you not be there defending the process? So in that instance, I think that this open ballot system has also added to some of the numbers that we're seeing, the inflated numbers, because we know that some people in their communities are also scared. You have to come out and be counted because you don't know if there'll be consequences for not being counted. There's rice being shared or there are things being shared, so you want to make sure your face is there and you don't want to cause rancor so that whatever goodies are awaiting you afterwards don't pass your house. You want to make sure your house is a beneficiary. So this is the downside of this open ballot system. Now, very quickly on to Peter Obi, and there was a swearing and an oath that was made and so forth. Like you said, everybody's entitled to their opinion, just as Peter Obi is entitled to change his mind and to do what he feels is the right thing, whether it means moving from this party or that, and doing what he thinks is in the best interest of his ambition and the overarching ambition, vision for what he feels is best for Nigeria. We're all entitled to run our commentary on the side, and we'll see a lot of commentary coming out. I'll use Dr. Abati say some of it roadside and some of it deeply intellectual and revealing.
The roadside, welcome as well.
What goes.
Nigeria decides. Now let's talk about insecurity. In Kebbi State, residents in Tangaram village, in the Danko Wasagu local government area of the state, are reeling from a terrifying midnight attack where terrorists abducted 13 people early on Sunday morning, according to eyewitnesses. The attackers arrived around 1 a.m. on motorcycles, firing sporadically into the air, breaking into people's homes before kidnapping over a dozen victims and moving them towards the Zamfara border. The state police on Monday confirmed the abduction, with the command spokesman stating that every individual abducted was an adult male. It appears to be some sort of indoctrination as we speak. We are also learning that police tactical teams in collaboration with vigilante groups and other security agencies have intensified coordinated rescue operation along border communities linking Kebbi and Zamfara states. All 13 victims remain in captivity. I mean, this is terrifying to think, that innocent people that were sleeping in their homes, terrorists barged in to kidnap them. Now, these communities have suffered repeated attacks due to their proximity to forest corridors linking Kebbi, Zamfara, and Niger states. Residents say recurring attacks in the Danko Wusagu communities have led to several abductions in recent months, with some victims reportedly released after payment of ransom running into millions of naira. I mean, this is like, a coordinated attempt to get these people for, I believe, is definitely, a business and an indoctrination. Go ahead.
And in the same country, because the government has failed to provide security. People speaking for President Tinubu, Chief Oshoba, said that he's the enemies of President Tinubu, that because he removes fuel subsidy, that they are the ones causing all of this insecurity. But you just imagine, how can a government fail so much and they start to abdicate responsibilities and they think people should look at them in better state. That video you brought forward about the Vice President Kashim Shettima, that he was weeping during that time. Oji, the question is, why is he not weeping today? As his security not tripled?
Yes.
Oji, Children's Day. Children used to sing this song. Mama Jackson, heal the world, make it a better place for you and for me and the entire human race. There are people that if you care enough for the living, make a better place for you and for me. Children's Day, Nigerian kids and their teacher that was just recently beheaded will be spending in kidnappers' captivity in Oyo. Nothing has been done, Oji. Oji is going to 2 weeks now. Oji, the family of that people, that man that was beheaded, he said he was writing a letter to say at least give us the body to be able to bury. We don't even know if they have collected the bodies back. They say,
They did a funeral.
They did a funeral. No, the funeral you are talking about, Vibai. You know when people first came to attack, they shot sporadically, they killed the 49-year-old teacher.
Okay, that's the one.
That's the one they buried on Friday.
No, you're talking about the man that was beheaded.
No, so they had killed
The
people
body is not there.
even before they took people to captivity.
Okay, correct, yes.
All right, tomorrow is Children's Day. Can we allow children to leave captivity? Can the government at least bring our children back home from captivity for them to celebrate Children's Day? They are children. They should not be in the bush or forest. They are not there in excursion. They are there held against their will.
Well,
Happy Children's Day.
That was heartbreaking. Meanwhile, in Kwara State, the police have confirmed the violent killing of 3 worshippers and the kidnapping of 15 others after a deadly attack during a Saturday prayer service in the Ekiti local government area of the state. The incident occurred on Saturday night at Orioke Ajayi, located on the outskirts of Ikiran village, where armed men stormed a prayer ground. Around 8:30 p.m., the pastor of the church, Pastor Adebayo Abiodun, reported that while conducting a night vigil with members of his congregation, armed hoodlums invaded the prayer ground, firing sporadically, killing 3 persons and abducting 15 others to an unknown destination. Well, the Commissioner of Police in Kwara described the attack as barbaric, callous, and unacceptable, assuring the families of the deceased, the injured, and the abducted victims that the command is fully committed to ensuring the rescue of all victims and apprehension of perpetrators behind this heinous crime. And, this is the terrifying pattern that I am talking about, Dr. Abati. And this is only coming because we believe last November, the terrorists attacked Christ Apostolic Church in the same local government area, killing 3 and abducting 38 people before they were rescued. Now, I believe you remember this story, Dr. Abati. Now, the Ekiti local government chairman has ordered the indefinite suspension of night vigils in worship centers located in rural communities. Religious organizations in isolated locations have been directed to relocate services to community centers within towns and villages. Now, Nigerians can't even pray in peace anymore. Before I come to you, Dr. Abati, in a more positive update, the Ondo State Police Command and hunters have successfully rescued 12 people who were abducted in the Akoko East local government area of the state while traveling in commercial buses early Saturday morning. The 2 Hummer buses were en route from Benue State to Ibadan when they were intercepted by armed kidnappers around 1:30 a.m. at Iswa Akoko. Police say the attackers forced passengers out before marching them into a nearby forest. Security officials then combed through the forest using intelligence-led surveillance and rescued the 12 people alive. They've been taken to the hospital with arrangements being made to reunite them with their families. Ali, I'd like for you to tie in both stories. We're seeing this pattern more often now. I mean, people are saying it's becoming worse by the day, Dr. But even given all the intelligence that we have, it's also good to see that the communities are collaborating with the police to help rescue our Nigerians that have been held in captivity.
Well, the stories speak for themselves, clearly.
Yes.
Insecurity remains a major problem. Despite protestations to the contrary, that the government is putting its best efforts in, and despite the claims by the security agencies, whether it's the police or the military, that they are also trying their best. Obviously, that best is not good enough. for as long as people cannot travel from one part of the country to the other without being attacked or abducted, to the extent that now it's become an offense, to even pray in the evenings, and the irony, the Kuala prayer ground that you refer to is called Uriuki Ajayi.
Meaning?
It means, a prayer mountain where, you gain survival.
Wow.
The
irony.
Victory.
Wow.
Victory mountain, something like that. And yet they went there to pray, and the kidnappers, terrorists, attackers cynically converted the title of that prayer mountain to its opposite and took them away. That should not be the case anywhere in the country. Look at the number of states you have mentioned in the last few days, from Borno to Oyo to Kuala to Kebbi. So apparently nowhere is safe, and it's most unfortunate. But again, it's another wake-up call for the state authorities to ensure that the obligation to see to the safety and welfare of the people is one that is met, not through press statements. I don't know whether Mr. Ononuga has issued a statement on this latest.
I haven't seen it.
They're not true statements, not true rhetoric. They're through actual, safety, guaranteed for the people.
Well, still on insecurity, Vimbai. Now to a disturbing new video, which has gone viral. A Borno State indigene and internally displaced person, Enoch Yohana, has raised alarm about what he calls the business of terrorism in Nigeria. Yohana, who is the community liaison officer for the NGO Africa Arise, made the shocking allegation during a public event about rehabilitated insurgents. He claimed that after terrorists complete government rehabilitation programs, state governments, including Borno and Zamfara, provide them with monthly salaries ranging from 50,000 naira to 70,000 naira, plus one-off payments up to 3 million naira. Yohana, whose father was killed by insurgents, named a man called Adamu, who he says slaughtered 96 people in one day. And today, he drives a Hilux vehicle, courtesy of the Nigerian government. Let's take a look.
So the nearby you stay there 1 month and go off. If you give a small number 2 months, if you give maybe 6 months, which type of ammunition that you use, then that's the people that they are going to pay them a pay off of 3 million. And monthly salary of 50,000. It has been so big that the killer of my dad is being paid in taxpayers' money. The adults of our women, our children, our sisters are being paid off by the taxpayers' money. They drive luxury car with escort. There is one man that slaughtered 96 people a day. Now he's driving with Hilux. His name is Adamu. I'm saying this, I don't care. I don't care. I'm ready to die.
All right. The Nigerian government has not publicly responded to these allegations, but Yohana is asking the question many Nigerians are asking: why are victims left to suffer while perpetrators get salaries? Why are families still displaced while terrorists drive Hilux vehicles? Is this reintegration, or is this incentivizing terrorism? And that's the right question, Vimbai. We've highlighted these insecurity stories across the states. Even only yesterday, I believe Daily Trust is also reporting that bandits attacked the emir's palace. I mean, if you see that they are encouraging, because this is what I call encouragement, encouraging terrorists, why wouldn't they act? Your thoughts?
Yeah, so it's quite a complex issue because we've interviewed quite a number of representatives from the army on this Operation Safe Corridor, which is the rehabilitation of those who collaborated with insurgencies. And their position is that, well, it's not those who commit the heinous crimes that are rehabilitated. They say that it's more those who find themselves victims of circumstance, such as those who are used for logistics and so forth. But this young man's testimony is totally at loggerheads with that narrative. And I think this is where it becomes important for us to continue to hear the voices of those who've been directly impacted and affected by terrorism, so that we can sort of try to reconcile the difference in narratives. We've always argued that, is there really the capacity to be able to successfully rehabilitate these repentant terrorists, as they are called, given just the sheer reality of the Nigerian economy and, the suffering, the poverty, the lack of jobs and so forth that exists, because they say they train them, they prepare them for life afterwards and so forth. But I remember, Rufai, you were the one who had asked that, well, do we follow them? Do we have a mechanism to track them and see how they do afterwards? And that doesn't exist yet. So until that exists, it's difficult for us to really sort of have full credibility in that Operation Safe Corridor. And then I think it should just be put on hold, to be honest with you. So let's go for the prosecution.
Many times, we cannot put Ashwebi, we cannot be giving bandits Ashwebi and giving them what? And pepper soup. For what? Really? All right, thank you for your contribution on that. Now, we're going to continue on this conversation. But first, what do you think? Join the conversation. Use the hashtag, What's Trending with OGOFIC. We're reading your comments. We'll go on a short break now. When we come back, What's Trending will continue. Person who is now weighing in on Nigeria's deepening crisis. The senior pastor of House of the Rock Church, Pastor Paul Adeferson, sparked a heated debate online after he described Nigeria as dead, bluntly stating that anyone who counts their wealth in Naira is poor. Adeferson made the comments during a sermon on May 17th, titled Becoming Who God Says You Can Be, the sequel, where he spoke about how much value the Naira has lost through the years. Let's take a look.
Nigeria is dead. Let's not deceive ourselves. Let me tell you something. I'm going deeper in a minute. Let me tell you something. Once you're counting in Naira, you are poor. I was not born poor. My father's salary, his last salary, in the 1970s or 80s, I can't remember when it was about 18,000 Naira. That was money. Didn't make it clear to you. How much is a billion Naira today in dollars? Or 1.4 billion Naira, how much is in dollars? Only $1 million clear. Do you know what a billion Naira was when I was 15, 16? $2.8 billion.
Nigeria is dead. This is what Pastor Paul Adeferson said from his pulpit. And people are reacting because he said it out loud, what many Nigerians are feeling. We've just spent time covering insecurity stories, and now a prominent pastor is saying the country is dead. Now, as we approach 2027, the question is, does anyone in power care enough to attempt a resurrection? Well, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu sparked reactions online after publicly revealing that his economic reforms have impacted him on a personal level, stating that he's lost sleep and weight over the country's challenges. The president made these comments on Sunday while accepting the All Progressives Congress presidential ticket at the Bola Ahmed Tinubu International Conference Center in Abuja after polling 10.9 million votes. Let's take a look.
If you lost sleep, I lost some too. If you have lost weight, I think I've lost some too. But I've always remember one thing, that year 2022, I asked for this job and you all supported me and I got it. So I must do it.
Rufai, this has gathered A ton of reactions, and I'll take one from Malo, who said Tinubu's 2022 words show real intent. He knew reforms would hurt and claimed he'd feel the pain too by losing sleep and weight. Respect for admitting the sacrifice needed for Nigeria's future, but 3+ years later, the pain is too heavy for most citizens. Inflation crushing families, fuel prices unbearable. No visible relief yet. Leaders must watch words with faster results. We're watching. Another ex-user wrote, Tinubu has lost nothing. Not weight, not power, not wealth, not even his children has lost anything. Even his wife couldn't lose her small vegetable farm. Imagine that. The real losers are Nigerians. We lost our purchasing power, lives every day to terrorism, our families to kidnappers, our families to hunger, and many more. I mean, you cannot blame Nigerians for stating the obvious fact. I mean, we just reeled out a ton of insecurity stories. Before I come to you, I'll take this final one. Meanwhile, an old video of Vice President Kashim Shettima from when he was governor of Borno State has re-emerged and has gone viral. In the clip, Shettima is seen getting visibly emotional while speaking about persistent insecurity during former President Goodluck Jonathan's administration. The incident reportedly took place in 2012, while Shettima was presenting a 2013 appropriation bill at the State House of Assembly during an uptick in Boko Haram attacks at the time. Let's take a look.
Our hopes are very much alive and they are very high. Your Excellency, we came with some observations and 10 specific requests for urgent presidential intervention. These observations and requests are products of discussions in the aftermath of our extraordinary security meeting held 1 week ago. We didn't rush to come after the meeting. We felt the need to travel to northern Borno, interact with displaced persons and the military so as to strengthen public confidence. I will seek the understanding of journalists by not making public any of our observations and 10 requests. They are matters of security. We will hope to discuss with Mr. President in a closed session.
All right, Rufai, I believe you asked the question the last time. He's crying here. Where are the tears now?
It's a joy. As we got into this administration, or those that said President Tinubu, what did he lose? Didn't they build 20 billion naira worth of house for Shettima? Am I lying?
Yes, so the Vice President.
Presidential mansion. So, how will you cry? You can't cry in the 20 billion naira mansion now. That time they were crying because Jonathan was their problem. They wanted to remove Jonathan. So anything for the camera, they would do theater, they would cry. It's the market sometimes. Now they are beheading people. They are not hearing anything. Then said they were not beheading you. Now they are shalaki. You know what it means to behead somebody?
Yeah.
They can never cry because that's who they are. People are going. The only part I just believe, I agree with Pastor Paul at the Pharisees, I don't think Nigeria is finished. I don't think Nigeria is finished. I think the day the people wake up in Nigeria and stop the shenanigans of our leaders, the country will jump back up. I don't think Nigeria is a hopeless case. I think the day the people wake up. But as long as people are docile and what has he said?
Which day
that we talk about the end. We have all become poorer. So if Pastor Paul says if you are earning in Naira, we all earn, when the alert for salary come here, mama, is it not Naira? When we see it, as the money not all gone before we plan. In fact, there are some people that I know that don't talk about it. Before the salary come, they've already shown with on top of the salary. You get. So there are need for everybody. President Tinubu reform, we said it. It was going to destroy the lives and livelihoods of people. And it has done because it didn't also give us sincerity. People are still feeding facts. Till today, there are many corruptions. Till today, you know the matter of spending FAC for votes. That is, put FAC money, 800 billion. You know they just swept the case under the carpet. The allegations under the carpet. I would have wanted people that have the FAC. Maybe they can take it to EFCC, they can investigate. So you can see the nation is at loggerhead. And you see, one thing I always argue is the reforms, yes, but the purity and sincerity of the reforms is never the case. Politicians are feeding fat at the interest of the poor.
All right.
We didn't get the purity and sincerity of reform. Those that they needed to go after, they didn't go after them. So we are just hovering around. But the day that Nigeria people wake up, that's the day the country will jump back.
Continue waiting now. That day will never come. That day will never come.
Pastor Paula.
Now,
we should not mislead the congregation. Because when a pastor says, oh, if you...
imagine this idiot. Imagine this idiot.
You should spend dollar. If you hold naira, it means you are poor. What volume of naira should anybody hold? Naira is the national currency of Nigeria. It's legal tender. It's not the dollar. Except the pastor is saying that when the congregation comes to church, they should pay.
See how he's interpreting what the pastor said. A mischievous man. Look at how he's interpreting what the pastor said.
And the job of the pastor is not to be telling his congregation that Nigeria is dead. Nigeria is not.
Nigeria is dead, dead and dead.
Pastor, except that now many of these
the truth is that Nigeria is dead. If you like, believe it. If you like, continue to deceive yourself. Even the Nigerians themselves know that the country is dead.
Christian eschatology.
Nonsense.
It's based on giving people hope. Telling them
Giving you hope. When you are hopeless.
To tell them that the country is dead and you must have access to dollars. No, that's very wrong doctrine.
All right. Let us give Nigerians hope.
Nonsense. Continue to deceive yourself. Continue to deceive yourself. Give yourself hope when you know that you are hopeless. A hopeless hope. A hopeless hope. I know that this idiot called Abati, that is how, look at the way he interprets what the pastor said. But when the politicians put their lie, he will be in the front to defend them. When Tinubu speaks lie, this idiot will be in the front line to defend Tinubu. But when a pastor speaks the truth, you are now directing him on how to speak the word. You are telling him not to deceive the congregation. He should join you in your propaganda and blackmail. You should join your brother Tinubu to continue to push line that everything is well, all is well. That is what you want. Because you have heard the truth. And you think everybody is like you. We will not keep quiet. There are some people that still have conscience. And they will continue to speak. You will never change. Abati will never change. Very evil and devil. Look at the reason I play the clip is for people to see. Look at all the insecurity that we are mentioning. Look at the insecurity, kidnappings upon kidnapping from one place. Look at a church where people were worshiping. They went to a church and kidnapped people in their church. People that had night vigil. That wasn't the first time. It has happened before in the same village. This is where you call a country. And this is the country you say is alive. There is hope. Continue to get hopeless hope. Don't protect yourself. Continue. And Rufai is saying, oh, there is hope. Companies can have hope. Continue. We're here. As for us, we are gone. We are gone. We are only waiting for the right time for us to be whom we are supposed to be. That is all we're waiting for. We are not part of this madness that they are displaying. We can never be part of it. We are gone and we are gone for good. Let us listen to this last one before we round up on the program. Mad people everywhere. That is how they push their propagandas and their lies, lying from both sides of their mouth. People that will never speak the truth. You can never hear. They have brought the truth. Truth is far from them.
What's your take on this? What is really the difference between Boko Haram and bandits now in Nigeria? We see bandits, kidnapping Nigerians, sacking villages, and taking people into the bush to demand ransom. We also see Boko Haram coming to the market to shop in and in the same vein, pack people along. It's no different. If it's just because we are just using different systematics and names here in Nigeria, these people are terrorists. Let's just add that. It's just because Nigeria government has given Gumi so much opportunities for him to now begin to be the one that is dictating for the government on what to do. It's so unfortunate. There are people like Kanu as Sheikh or whatever clearly in Israel when they had that attack October never listen. They never gave them that opportunity to now begin to dictate for them. Last time we said when will Nigeria be having a relationship with America to assist to fight insecurity instead of Turkey. We now saw that the Nigerian government backed themselves to Turkey for Jamboree and said, no, they want to meet the Turkish government. I mean, who gave me that? Who is giving me this opportunity? Is it just because that this man does not really know what we are going through? I traveled last week. When I got to I had the opportunity to visit my farm. Well, like, if you see what I saw in my town, there are no new farms. People don't go out this year to go and cultivate their fields. People cannot move to the farm. I didn't see a new farm grow. In one of my area that when at least farm period, between the hour of 9 till like 2 o'clock, you see new farm, people go in the farm. Nobody, I was alone. I had to run back immediately. I don't want to come and be stranded because I know everybody here cannot raise 10 million naira for me or 20 minutes. Do you understand? That is to tell you that I think the way is playing down on what Nigerians are going through. I was asking my people that work for me, I said, people doing good fun? They said that we don't come out again. I said, but how do you not feed these 220 million Nigerians by this time next year when you're supposed to be having a new produce coming out? But somebody is not coming to tell Nigeria that even the repentant one that is so-called repentant, did you not see video of the one that even with the military uniform and the rifle was even, he went back to meet his colleagues in the bush? This way that Nigerian armed forces will plan operations and most of the operations become ambushed and Nigerian government use their soldiers because of this ambush. When do you think is responsible for this? Isn't it this repentant, this so-called repentant, just in the name of repentant, use Nigerians' money to now give them assurance, give them good rooms and give them good life. And the detriment of those they sack in their respective room, who are languishing in IDP camp, and those that are in the grave. I think it is high time that this government now know that we need postulations and the result choices is enough. This is the time Nigeria should is it beyond the law that when we can become for questioning? I don't know why the government that came in is still placating everything he says. And they are dancing into his truth, especially that talking mention of which Nigerian government now packed themselves to. It is so shameful that he does not even recognize the magnitude of what Nigerians are going through. By this time next year, we talk about these people that are moving to the bush, emirs, palace, being sacked, and the police station and all that. Do you know what is going on here? By this time now, all that time, the emir is the head of that time. People that time would have left that time. Where are they going? You know what it means for you to leave your ancestral home, where your means of survival is, you left it, you are just wondering, you don't even know when the next day will come again. And those in the IDP camp, look at the splendid life they are living in IDP camp. I think Nigerians have to remind President Tinubu's government that even though former President Buhari looked at the other side for his brother to me, this government has to do the next thing. It's a lot of thing. Else we can continue in this one.
Prince Francis, one would think that with American governments in Nigeria providing intelligence and all of that, we should have an impact in some of these crimes that we see. At least the military should have intelligence and know where they would strike next. Be it bandits, be it terrorists, be it insurgents, be it Boko Haram, whichever one. There should be intelligence. Now, we are not privy to the intelligence that the military might have gotten. But local said, look, that they saw the signs. The bandits in the forest, the increasing number of the bandits pointed to signs that, look, something was about to happen. The locals didn't say. And then they flagged it. They made some complaints, but nobody came to their rescue. How do we... Let's talk about intelligence now and reaction to intelligence that is being provided. Is it deliberate that certain individuals, authorities that should, like the police and the military, that should carry out, that should execute when intelligence is given to them, are lackadaisical about it? Do you think that's deliberate? Or is it that they're not certain of the intelligence that is being provided?
Let's start from the root cause of it, which I've always said is lack of political will to do the right thing. That's one. And two, for the fact that we lack in Nigeria what I call community. We lack it. And I have given you a solution on how to embrace community policing while we're talking about state police. Let us start from what we know, okay, to the one we do. We have a federal police system. And I've said several that you need to start from the basic. And what is that basic? For you to get the kind of intel you want, for you to get the kind of information you want, begin to make the commissioners of police to be from the state that they are from. Okay. Take somebody from Imo State, make him a commissioner of police in Imo State, and you will see the results that will come out. I recall, like I keep saying, our problem in this country is the problem of history. We don't believe in history. We don't embrace history. We just go like people that have no culture. So that Adelusi, if I recall, was once the head of police. That's when Adelusi set up the mobile police, isn't it? Now, go and vote. You'll find out that when Sunday Adelusi was commissioner, if a crime is committed within the division, he holds the division officer responsible and gives them an ultimatum to produce the criminals. And it worked. Two, these are policemen. Because before you talk about the military, ordinarily the police is meant to provide intel first, because they are more closer to the people. These policemen that are meant to provide intel for you, how well are they represented? How well do you take care of them?
Okay, let's devote a little to community policing that you mentioned. I didn't want to interrupt you at that point. I wanted you to land on your first. Talking about community policing, let me say which I belong, and then I'll go to what I value. Sunday Adeyemo, more popularly known as Sunday Igbo, has initiated the introduction of a group, Mureko, which translates to the tail of a tiger, or tiger lion, I don't know which one. But basically, a paramilitary group to comb the forest and deal with those hiding in there, insurgents and the rest of them. And he says they're waiting for government approval. Now, if we have the government approves Mureko, and then we have what's the other one now? Amateku. Amateku. And then
forest guards.
And then we have the forest guards. And then would that be enough?
Okay.
To help?
It's not about, see, for me, I would say that Nigeria, whether we like it or not, is becoming a country where non-state actors are becoming more powerful than the state. And you will not continue to empower non-state actors. If Sunday Igbo has 50,000 workforce, what is wrong in incorporating them under Amatu?
I think the language is different.
Control. No. You see, what we need is a political will. Let us not create more monsters as we move on. Okay. And I'm saying this from the experience from high. In the south, you see Asari Dokubo telling you, somebody, maybe he knows what he's saying or he doesn't understand what he's saying. But somebody has told you that he has his own militia. Now, in the southwest, you want to create your own. And you hand it over to an individual. In the southeast, when they created the Rubago, we saw what came out of it. That people are still complaining and people are still crying. It's not, this is not the kind of community policing we're talking about.
Don't forget the
So this is not kind of community policing we're talking about. We're talking about community policing that is controlled.
But exactly. I like the fact that you brought control that word.
That is control. And that is why
I want to ask you, please. Sorry, I want to ask you. You talked about making the state commissioner of police of every state come from that state. Yes. Now, in that scenario, when will the commissioner of police report to the governor or to the inspector general of police? Because that seems to be the bane of the problem.
Control. Who controls? When you have a commissioner of police for the state, you must see the problem we're having here is authority.
Control.
You must have, because of the peculiar nature of Nigeria today, you must have dual reporting.
It will work.
It will work. It will work.
Okay, so you report to the governor, and the governor says, do this. You report to the IGP, IGP says, no, don't. What will we do?
See, where we have a problem is the fact that the IG sees himself as a demigod.
So the Police Act makes him a demigod as a man.
We need to remove that demigod.
Okay, so now you have brought us back to the issue of state police and who controls the state
Wait,
police.
when you have a state police now, then I'm not talking about state police, I'm talking about the federal police. And I'm saying that let us start from the federal police to see the tone of what the state police will look like.
Using community policing.
Yes, because if we are saying I am the commissioner of police from Imo State, and I'm an Imo State person, I know the terrain, I understand the language, I understand the culture. Like we're doing the
Let me create a scenario. Now, a bandit was arrested in some parts of Oyo State. They took him to the professional police headquarters. In the evening, in the morning, when they went back, others had come from above for that man to be released.
Yeah, and he was released. Now, this is where it starts. The commissioner of police in that state, if you arrest a high flight criminal, you do not take him to a divisional, you take him straight to commissioner's office. Because every commissioner's office has a detention facility.
And the IGP says, let them go. What will you do?
Let it now become that the IG is saying it.
That is what happens everywhere.
Let it be that the IG is saying it. So the IG will not take responsibility. Because how are you sure that it is not a politician that has called the DPO to release that person? I'm not coming from the IG. So when you have that kind of situation, the IG that wants that person released will also pass the same information down to the governor. We must have a reporting system. We must have a synergy between the IG and the governors. Because this IG of the governors always claiming that they are two security officers by mouth, not by action. We need to eradicate it.
In 2012 or 13, the Ekpa massacre in Enugu State. The people got information that they were to be attacked. They reported to the governor, reported to the police. The governor would tell the police to go there. The police didn't go there. Eventually, when the attack happened, they got back to the governor. The governor called the state commissioner of police. The state commissioner of police said, let me get in touch with the IGP. The IGP and the president, who were there, kept him online for like 4 or 5 hours without getting back to him. At that point, the state commissioner of police couldn't do anything.
Okay.
And so, by the time the governor, got embarrassed and frustrated, he backed out. And so, after the massacre, the state police had to go there to arrest natives that had mobilized. It happened.
This is also a country where the president gave directives to the military to move, gave instruction to the IGP to move to, was it in Boronu then? Where there was a massacre.
In Benue.
He moved.
Were there consequences?
That is, so the problem is that political will means that there must be punishment for disobedience.
Elvis, let's talk about what this incident will do to the psychology of those that reside around there, where their leader, traditional leader's palace was, invaded and touched. What impact will that have on the psychology of people?
Completely down, Moses. I was just telling you, we are just discussing it in the studio here. If it is something that we have a reporter on ground that will file in this story for us live, we have seen the million that is going on in such community. But people will have start moving. And where are they going to? Where they are going to, they don't have a job here, they don't have business here, they don't have a farm. So they are going out to go and start relying on already impoverished Nigerians that cannot even make out a living on their own. This is displacement. This displacement has gone around all over Nigeria. And this displacement is what we are talking about now. This is part of where we are saying that it must not continue. It must not continue because what is going on at the psychological depression those people are going through now can never be quantified. Because if the area that is so weak country, probably by now is somewhere else, he has ground, then we do not think of the subject. So I don't even think that that village will be the best such village now. I don't think. From the fact that the area is gone, these people are coming back again. And we are seeing it. That they come back and do more things than the one that we are even analyzing. So everybody, if you were aiming for such place, by now even though you are going to because you're going to leave. And where are you telling them to leave?
Elvis, what I want, sorry I had to cut you in there, but the elections are barely 7 months away. And it appears, I mean, we look at the trajectory, it appears as though this insurgency and all of this will only get worse even as the months go by. Do you see this election even happening? I mean, the general election, this seems to be the focus of the politicians. Do you see it even happening? Taking place in separate of, I know you're not a lawyer, do you see it even happening?
The government of the day must make the election to happen. The election is not happening in Nigeria. In 2014 to 2015, it was worse. It was like this. When they started calling Jonathan names, in that Gatting, clueless, and all of that, he should resign. Jonathan did it. And make sure that before the 2015 general election, there was no local government in Nigeria that the election did not take place. That same magic, Jonathan, turn around there. Tinubu should go and consult him because this is the thing Nigerians will faith. They should not begin to call 1 million, 110 million and tell you that this people in IDP can all people that are displaced in their respective homes that they voted even when they did not vote. So nobody should capitalize on using their PVCs because of what they are going through now to now manipulate the result of the 2027 general election. Therefore, whatever magic former President Jonathan did in 2015 must be done by this administration to make sure that these people vote and vote their choice. Because I know people who have been abandoned by this to this extent, who have been traumatized by to this extent, they will not vote this government. And this government must not be harvest their PVC illegally and not say they voted for them. Let these people have the help to go back to their ancestral home and vote judiciously and vote their choice as expected. And let's see whether there's actually going to be a change that will rescue to Nigeria going forward from 2027.
All right, let's go to Emeka Ubani. Now, the police have reacted. We understand that the police station was also attacked and they were repelled. That's the information that we're getting, that they were repelled. And the police command spokesperson, Adetoru Ejire Adeyemi, described the attack as cowardly. Said, yes, they repelled the attackers when they attacked the police station, but as they were running, as they were, trying to escape, they grabbed 10 people, and, those are the people that they took along with them. Now, the locals also reported that these bandits came with sophisticated weapons. How do you weigh the statements coming from the spokesperson of the police, Ejire Adetoru, that the attackers, as they were, backing off, took 10 people with them? Does that
sound realistic to you? And what better way can we equip our police to fight such attackers when they come? That's two questions in one.
Okay, thank you very much. Our government reform. We are talking about security now. What we want the government to impact, and that is the first electoral process. Government imagine through an electoral process, first about invested in reform. To do that, I imagine through the reform process, and not any reform in any of the sectors. Be security, be judicial. So look at what we are having today. That's why it's so funny now. Can you person are doing their best to deal with what we have. But the government is weak. And you can't blame them because they are not produced from the electoral process. The election is coming up. The president putting governors recruitment. So when the security agency during elections, well, when you imagine for them to do something different from the security. But some of the things you see happening to happen. They see the process of election because the security are also involved. Like in another government, we have one of the state police that is like all the guys. The election that was conducted, some of them went and destabilized and the young man that was leading that was announced. So that tells you that in the hands of those government, they are not interested in reforming the electoral system. So when you don't reform the electoral system, how can you reform the judicial? So look at the 2018 up to the last decade in the security, nothing has changed. And that is elections are getting worse. Because you are not they cannot reform the sector. There's nothing anybody can do. Then the issue that we are doing now is just cosmetic process. What we can do is just cosmetic. And because of the people in the national assembly are not affected, the people in the government are not affected. If you go to the national assembly, you look at the government, you will see community issues in the form. And maybe 10 months of the national assembly member, you will see how the government will react. But who are affected? So every field in power, 10 people in power, these are just numbers before. So we are not making effort. We are not making that. First of all, refuse that process. So when that is gotten right, you can't get one anything extraordinary. So just cosmetic action. You will make that visit job, the concern will be and the airport like
we're running out of time. But let's just get quick reactions to this story. The federal government of Nigeria has deployed military troops to Benin Republic to, help protect democracy in that country. This comes after the one in April when there was a coup. So now that there is a transition of government, Nigeria is helping its neighbor to ensure that there is a peaceful transition in Benin Republic. Gentlemen, you're talking already.
Well, this is the height of this is it.
Some people would say that if we allow
to the chaos in neighboring countries into like
are we at peace? So you think what is happening in Nigeria is a child's play? It shows you that. That's why they say, remove the splinter in your eyes before you begin to look for the wood in another person's oil.
So you consider this misplaced?
It is completely, it simply shows you that this government has no sense of direction. This is the most brilliant government. Young people are dying daily. Young people are being slaughtered by terrorists. You have not been able to curb it. You are going to protect another nation. Who does that? Who are the advisors of this president? What kind of advice are they giving the president? It simply shows you that if this government do not care about Nigeria.
I was saying the statements issued by the army spokesperson Apollonia Anile said that the plan was carried out on the directive of President Bola Tinubu as part of Nigeria's commitment to regional peace and democratic stability.
Yeah,
how do you react?
We saw the one that we did in South Africa. He paid back. We saw the one that when we accommodated Ghana, or we say Ghana, we are seeing payback. You see, when you have your own sickness and you don't regard it as sickness, you are seeing another person's sickness, the person that is sick. That's what the problem is. We don't regard what. We're not talking of police station attack. We're talking of military bases here in Nigeria being attacked. And we're talking about recruitment of Nigerians into the army, that we have even the personnel are not enough. We don't have much good on ground. But we are still not having the ones that are saying, go and protect another country because we are very comfortable here. I think where we should be praying that God should actually make Nigeria to be more comfortable. So I will have the strength to do this big brother all over the world, not even Africa. I think it's a bit of pride. We should be talking about how we even praise our brother now and be able to think of securing Nigerians as expected. We are talking about having a spillover of Nigeria armed forces that is not even enough to protect this country to another country. Do they think we actually enjoy it? Do they know what happens? You just let them don't go with their security comfort and drive from Lagos to Benin or drive from Abuja to Kaduna without their security comfort. They let them feel what you and I is facing before they cannot begin to talk of deploying soldiers to the government. Probably they'll move to Mali and other places.
All right. Electoral Bali, in 1 minute, please, your reaction to this. 1 minute.
Please, I didn't get that right.
Okay, we're just talking about deployment of Nigerian military to protect the peaceful transition of government in the Republic. And we've had the analyst in the studio react, so just getting your reaction in 1 minute as we wrap up.
Of course, that's it. You have to be, charity must begin at home. God, I really am not really. We are really feeling around. I think it's just sorry. We need to get the capabilities, I understand that. But in Nigeria, it doesn't. We are going out to make sure when we are done the bit. So, really out of order.
All right, then. Well, I wonder how Nigerians in Benue State, in Plateau State, in Kwara, I wonder how these Nigerians will feel hearing that Nigerian government sent troops to ensure peaceful transition of government in Benin Republic. While back home, we are being chased out of their ancestral lands and chased into IDP camps and the rest. Farmers cannot even go to farm. I was here, I did say, when he visited his own farm, his farmers were sitting back at home. The Nigerians are looking for food to eat. We're importing apples. Oh well. Elections are around the corner. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Thank you very much. Emeka Ubani Uja.
You have heard them. These are what we always show you here is the decay of the zoological republic. So when we say that Nigeria is gone, you will understand that we are not just saying it out of anger or we're saying it out of hatred. It is a fact. And that is why I go to their media to bring the information from them. Just maybe when you hear from them, you might begin to believe what we are saying. Every single day you go to their media, you will see a confirmation that Nigeria is a failed state. And it's irredeemable. So wherever you are, mostly as a Biafran, you must be strong. I saw a message from Engineer Baribe. Engineer Baribe is now calling for armed resistance, that Biafran should arm themselves, that what is coming will be worse than the civil war. The same thing Mazen Nnamdi can be shouting, we have been shouting, and they call us evil. The same Engineer Baribe who was in the house abusing Mazen Simon Ekpa, today he's calling for Biafrans to arm themselves. The same Engineer Baribe who was abusing Mazen Simon Ekpa in the house, calling for his arrest, today he is calling for the Biafrans to arm themselves. You haven't seen nothing yet. The evil that men do, live with them. We are going to deal with that program properly tomorrow. Tomorrow we will speak about the press release of Engineer Baribe. We will talk about it. It's a breaking news. We will discuss it tomorrow. What Engineer Baribe is calling for Biafrans to arm themselves. In his own word, that what is going to happen will be worse than what happened in the Civil War. Tomorrow, join us tomorrow program in the morning. We will bring out that video and we will dissect it. Tomorrow, these are people who pretend to like you, they don't like you. When they see somebody come forward because it is not them, they come against it. Engineer Baribe was in the front line of attack. I will not say much. Tomorrow, we're going to deal with that. Thank you so much for being part of the program. I appreciate every one of you that have connected this program. See you tomorrow morning by the grace of Chukwukama. Thank you and stay blessed. May Chukwukama guide and protect you and protect our leaders, Mazen Nnamdi and Mazen Simon. Good night, everybody. Good night. Bye.
We need peace, we choose freedom. We need peace, we choose freedom. There was a nation living in peace and unity. Yeah. They are people with love and harmony. Oh, yeah. They saw greatness rise up to its purity. With another people of different culture, Adian heritage, bias and oppressive. Oh, I see. A nation from trigger of Africa, rising with strength and might and power. In due time, nobody gonna praise us. Rather, you all gonna embrace her. With your flag, with your flag, with your flag, with your flag. Oh, yeah. Let the tears of our mothers who lost their children be heard. Let the blood of our heroes speak from now till forever. Let the whole wide world know Biafra is our home. Oh yeah, Biafra is our home. Oh, it's my home. Yeah, Biafra is our home.
I reminisce way back 1967. Death toll and the blood couldn't kind of even. Mama screaming, child squealing, pops on the ground. 2.5 years, over 3 million's gone. Why? Cause we asked for our freedom, and we're going back to our sovereign kingdom. They shut us down when we cried, the world said nothing. City Sitting back in the crib, watching our suffering. Should I talk about the planes dropping shells like rain? Suka had the first taste of a hero's blood. Abaganazo Bunigwe was stronger than flood, but the juke is too strong and fought them off on the chart. Thought the bloodshed's gone, then it came again. 216 and the massacre, it started again. So bloody name, I couldn't cry tears. Blood dripping down my eyes, water in my veins. We died trying to fight the cause and we're trying to break him. It's our freedom, but the world was against us.
Wave your flag over Africa. Welcome people of Biafra. Wave your flag over all the world. See those people of Zion is here.
It is the nation that the Lord has chosen for the people of Zion. It is the nation that the Lord has chosen for the people of Zion.
We need peace, we choose freedom. We need peace, we choose freedom. Let the tears of our mothers who lost their children be heard. Let the blood of our heroes speak from now till forever. Let the whole wide world know Biafra is our home.